Hello, it's Matt from Guitar Nerds. I am here with Tom from ENVOYS.
Hello.
We are here at ArcTanGent Festival in a slightly sunny, slightly windy, slightly rainy Bristol farm.
Pretty rainy, I would say, so far.
So you guys, so we're in association with Boss with these things, and you played on the Boss truck, this massive 18-wheeler that's kind of doing a tour around the UK at the moment. So tell us kind of the idea behind that, because it was like totally stripped back, right? There was just like guitars, backing tracks. I think I unfortunately we were doing interviews this morning, so I didn't get to see it. But I hear that it was kind of like a bit on the fly, sort of doing some, like almost like it's difficult for kind of the bands at this sort of festival to do like an acoustic gig, because as we can see, we're talking pedal boards and guitar. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, I'm doing an acoustic gig, but I've got this massive pedal board that I'm trying to work in there as well.
Well, we turned up and there's Talons were doing the set before, and they got the drummer and the bass player with them. Our bass player's not here yet; he's coming in tonight, you see. So we're like, okay, and we thought it might just be like this, you know, nobody else around. And then it's testament to this festival, really, because like it was 9:30 in the morning. Yeah. There's like 100 people there.
Yeah, we you know, I was here yesterday watching some bands, and like it was two stages, and everyone ping-ponging between two stages. Yeah. And it's just like it's like 4 o'clock, like 5,000 people here, just like watching all the bands. It's like totally nuts.
Brilliant, yeah.
And it's amazing because everyone's here is kind of, obviously everyone's into the same music, everyone's into kind of pedal boards and guitars, are kind of what we've found, and it's like, it's awesome to be able to come here and do this sort of thing because everyone's got a story to tell about their gear. So, I mean, I see, first of all, very cool, you're using a couple of the vintage Boss pedals, DM2 and CE2.
Yes, indeed. The DM2, well, both of these, when you switch them in, they give a boost to the signal, and it's just like, it just slightly warms it up. And that's, you know, why I love them. I mean, the DM2 sounds amazing. I can't remember which one this is because there's different chips. I had a couple, and this is the one I preferred, so I sold the other one. And it's a beautiful delay. And when we're recording, when you use this, you really hear all the intricacies of the tail deteriorating. And I was about to say they don't make them like this anymore, but the value of this has probably plummeted since they've done a reissue.
Well, it's funny really because the chips in those are still, you know, sought after, and those pedals, like you say, they do, with any of the vintage pedals like that, they do give something to your sound, and I think a lot of people go, oh, it's just a delay pedal, it's just a chorus pedal, it's just a phaser, but actually there's like so much more in the circuitry that kind of does something to your guitar signal as well. Absolutely. I mean, when you were building kind of this pedal board, did you kind of build it for a specific record, or were you just sort of, it's something that sort of come over time?
I had I changed my amplifier, and I had a great big controller down there for it. And I whipped that out and had a bit more space, so I thought, I can rather than buy a new pedal board because I'm northern and tight, I thought I've got a bit more space now, so I can put some new pedals on. So I got the POG, which I know is in this sort of area there's many people who've got a
it seems to be like a really big thing, but so many people those sort of pedals become so creative that everyone's doing something different.
So versatile, and there's like we take the attack off, and like there's a thing on our album where that's integral to the first song, you know, it's like there's a sort of swell thing I can do with it, and then they all serve a purpose. So I'd heard about OCDs for years.
It's kind of like a classic, really.
Exactly. When I changed my amp, I kind of lost my second channel. And that's kind of like now a bit more tap dancing, but that's kind of my second in between sort of tone. And it's I like to play my volume control and back off and pick and stuff, and that actually is just like having a good valve amp because you pick a bit like lighter and the tone backs off. This Ecstasy, I use that as my clean boost.
Okay.
It adds just a little tiny, it just breaks the front end of the amp up just a little bit. Although these are really versatile, you can do all sorts. We use that quite a bit on the album, but we've just done.
A testament to kind of Wampler, and I mean, he's just such an awesome dude. And I mean, I think sometimes those pedals become so versatile, you're like, I need more than one, because there's like so many great sounds in there. You're like, I want to use that drive sound, I want to use that drive sound. It's like, it's kind of trying to find the sweet spot in those sort of pedals.
I mean, I actually try and limit myself a little bit because I've had more pedals than this before. And there's always a temptation to get more, because you can just, a pedal's like almost like a sort of impulse purchase, isn't it? Where you can get something
100%,
for relatively not a lot. But I actually find limiting yourself can make you more creative with what you've got. So you get on your knees and you might, whack all your your rate and your depth up and your chorus for that wobbly sort of sound and mess with the tremolo and stuff. And that's I kind of find that keeps you on your toes creatively, rather than having too many. But in the studio, something like that, when you've got like many different options, it's kind of good for messing with tones.
Do you like pull the pedal board apart for kind of recording? So when did your last record come out?
It came out in May.
Okay.
And we've got our own studio, so we record it ourselves. So we had time. So this I put this together last July, so it was all in one bit actually. But we brought in others, and I'll tell you what we did have. I had a clone of the OCD, a Joyo or something. Yeah. It sounded kind of fuzzy. It was all right, but we actually used it just in front of Steve's guitarist pedal board. Okay. Not even switched on, and like whatever buffer in it or something actually produced this really good tone. So just a pedal. I think that's
because I noticed the tremolo on there from Boo Instruments, and I've seen those kind of flying around a fair bit actually. They're like relatively inexpensive. I don't think they're like crazy money, are they?
50 quid. I think I actually paid an extra tenner to have a blue light under it.
Well, there you go.
Flamboyant.
Yeah, man. Well, you've got to be able to see it on stage.
That's wicked, yeah. And it's got level control. It actually boosts the signal a little bit. And they do like a clone. And all sorts. I've been meaning to like look at getting a few more because I got it. It came, and you know what? It came in like a sort of velvety pouch. And
it's all about the presentation.
It was nice, yeah. It was 50 or 60 quid, I can't remember. It came and it was like Christmas. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. And then the Giga delay is.
So are you doing anything sort of different with the Giga? Because I mean that pedal. I remember that came out like early 2000s. It's like been around for a long time, I think. But it had like the warp and like the sound on sound, the looper before loopers became as big as they are now and things like that. But using it for anything other than a standard delay, or is it kind of just your main sort of delay on stage?
Thing I use.
That's where it kind of like twists the delay and kind of
I make pads with it, and I find it really tactile because you use your foot and you can actually control it, bring it up and down. And apart from that, I underuse it. I used to use it more. I used to have it dialed in to tempos and stuff, but I don't really bother anymore. I've got a slapback which I actually mix with the DM2, which makes this really sort of weird, spacey delay thing. So, but it's like I said, I should probably use it more. But it's mega versatile.
We've seen a lot of pedal boards today. We've seen a lot of guitarists, and people do have some things on their pedal boards that they're literally using for one thing. Yeah. But it's like if you create that sound in the studio and it's like a big part of the record, it's like you got to have it on there. That's always my excuse. Is like, oh yeah, I made that one sound with it. I better have it on my pedal board.
I also find that no matter what I do with this, I always come back to trying to make the same sounds with different pedals. Yeah. And it's a really weird thing, and I think it's something that we all kind of overdo.
So we've talked about the pedal board, we've talked about your record, so let's finally go to your sort of guitar. So what are you using, and have you had it for a while?
I used to work at a guitar shop, and one day I was kind of against Fenders for a while, weirdly. I was like this Gibson kind of advocate. I still use Les Pauls, but just not for this band. And this was hung on a wall, it come in second hand, it was cheap. It's a USA Tele, it's 2000, and it's an ash body. And we only did this finish, I believe, in 2000, which is like a white blonde finish. Yeah. But it's massive, the bottom end on it's huge. It's bigger than my Les Paul is, and I ended up using it for this band by accident. So I came back from somewhere. My Les Paul, because we were in a weird tune and we've got really heavy strings on. My Les Paul had 10s on. My friend had borrowed this, put heavier strings on for something. I just grabbed it, thinking I'll use that today. Yeah. Plugged it in, and literally everybody in the room went.
Is that so? That's the main guitar that's on the record and everything as well.
I've got an old '79 Silver Burst Les Paul Custom, which
cool.
Used
I bet that's
stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I am a Tool fan, and that's kind of what led me into them. But it's got mega. They're done with car spray paint. Okay. And that went into wood and gave them on this bottom end apparently. So, but cool. That and that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Steve's used the Les Paul, so we've got the single coil humbucker thing. That's just standard pickups. I don't mess with stuff too much. So
if it works, no need to fix it.
If it ain't broke, yeah.
Exactly. So so where can people find you? Where can people listen to the record?
You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com ENVOYS band, and send all your envoys.bandcamp.com. Just search for ENVOYS Leeds or UK or whatever, because there's a Swedish young band who are doing it. And you can get there. We did it on vinyl, pressed it ourselves. Awesome. First album's the same. or just listen to it. It's on Spotify and stuff. We put a lot of effort into it, and we just want people to listen and hear it. If you want to buy it, it just helps us pay for vans to come down here and stuff like that. So
awesome. Thanks very much. Well,
thank you.
There we go. That's Guitar Nerds at ArcTanGent Festival. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos coming soon.